Welcome back to yet another episode of The Gathering Hour. I am Josh. This is Ash.
Hello.
So this week we're going to be delving into the topic of life. Ash will also be covering a half-baked brew as usual, and I am going to be discussing a deck that I have in the making as well. Not quite a full-on half-baked brew, just some more ideas that I've been having, and I wanted to kind of open it up to.
If you will.
There you go. I kind of wanted to open it up to the forum here. So let's get things started here. Ash, what do we have for our half-baked goodness? Please let it have some carbs, but go easy on the colors.
It is only 2 colors.
Oh my goodness! Miracles do happen.
This is not a Miracles deck.
Okay.
Though, in playtesting, it lost until I drew a Blue Sun Zenith at the last possible second. So
Okay.
I guess miracles do happen.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I drew an opt and had enough mana to opt into the Blue Sun Zenith.
Fair.
But
I
it's
mean,
fine.
you
It
know,
worked.
it worked.
It's good.
You're
It's
right.
fine. So, yes, this deck, anyone familiar with, I think he's playing Standard and Modern right now, is the card, what's it called? Wilderness Reclamation.
Wild Wreck, yeah.
Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm. I am,
I'm
actually,
not going to pull up an image.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, this thing, turns out, cards that make more mana than they cost
Right?
are good.
Are good. Imagine that.
It's amazing
It's
how
incredible.
that works. So,
It's the reason why a common is worth, like, what, $4 right
I
now?
think it's uncommon, but I think it is $4, yeah. But the main point is it is a 4-mana card that basically just makes you a ton of mana.
Ton of mana.
When you just can ramp super hard with this, it's essentially a 4-mana ritual that just doubles whatever mana you have available to you.
Right.
The problem is it does it on your end step, so you have to build around it in a way where you're utilizing that mana at instant speed.
Right.
Because, just untap your land. So,
Right.
what you can do, and this is what the deck does, the way it actually doesn't have any creatures to win the game with. It has creatures, but there's walls.
Okay.
So, the main way this deck wins is it plays a couple of ramp spells, primarily Wild Growth and Explore. And it also plays.
Okay.
Yeah, it also plays like Secure to Shoot and Skyshow Claim, just as a way to dump lands into play. Because you either want lands to tap for more than 1 mana, for example, Wild Growth, or just more lands in play. So
Okay.
you play these ramp spells.
Isn't there one called Utopia Sprawl?
Yeah, but that's like $4, and that doesn't work well with the $25 vintage thing.
Oh!
By the way, this is a $25 vintage deck. I don't know if we said that. It is the $25 vintage deck.
This is a $25 vintage deck, which is why you don't want a
$4 card.
$4 card.
Yes.
Glad we covered that in the beginning so I didn't look like a Richard pitch.
You looked more like a just a regular Richard, actually. Anyway, so yeah, you spend the first several
that's
turns.
my nephew. Yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna hit him in a
You
second.
spend the first several turns dumping lands into play, maybe playing a Wall of Blossoms or Overcome Battlements to block some early attackers.
Right.
And you're drawing cards with Explore, Growth, Spiral, and Opt.
Okay.
And then you win the game basically by dumping a bunch of lands into play, getting ideally multiple Wilderness Reclamations in play, and being able to generate enough mana on your end step to cast Blue Sun Zenith for your opponent's library.
Aha.
And I know that sounds like a lot.
Lots of mana.
It's not as hard as it seems.
Not as hard as it seems.
Basically, what you want to do is you want to, pretty reasonably, you can just get up to somewhere around like 10 mana. Cast your first Blue Suns targeting yourself on your end step. And so that'll be like, if you get like 7 lands in play, and then you can Blue Suns yourself in your step, you're getting to Blue Suns for like 11 targeting yourself.
Right.
That's 14 mana.
So, okay.
And then you just discard down to hand size, discarding whatever you need to get rid of, right? And then on your turn, you just dump all the ramp in your hand. And then if you hit another Wilderness Reclamation, that might just be enough to kill them then. But because then you get 2 untaps off all the lands you play. Because even the things that make your lands come in tapped, they untap with the Wilderness Reclamation.
Okay. So describe the kill shot here. What are we looking at?
Like 1 or 2 Wilderness Reclamations, about 10 mana worth of lands in play. If you get about 10 mana worth of lands in play, and then 4 Wilderness Reclamations, you can make them draw 40, which is likely what will be left in the deck at that point.
Okay.
Or if you get about 15 and then 3 real world transformations, that'll be 45 cards.
Okay.
Like I said, that's not
that's
hard
pretty
to
good.
do. Because if you cast 1 or 2 blue suns targeting yourself, keep in mind the blue suns shuffle themselves back into your deck.
Right.
So you don't have to you get them back by casting more of them.
Right.
So you get to draw a bunch of the ramp out of your deck, play all the ramp out of your deck or out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're pulling lands out of your deck, so you have less. You're drawing less air.
Right.
And then you just ideally can I in playtesting. To be fair, I was playtesting against another relatively dirtily deck, but it blue sun for like 100. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I don't like it.
But
this is the kind of crap that I lose to all the time.
Would you like to know some
Hey,
sick
Josh.
interactions?
This is turn 6.
Oh,
Draw your entire...
it would be at least turn 8.
Okay. Draw your entire deck.
Look, if you're playing red deck wins, I'd probably be dead. Actually,
Well,
okay. Well, hey, speaking of how to beat red deck wins, you have a few ways to beat red deck wins. First, you play 2 Thornwood Falls, just because they're dual lands that are cheap. You play 4 Guild Gates, which is kind of weird to play those over the dual lands, but Sir Curtis can get gates, so that's why you play 4 of them, because you can get your dual lands.
Okay.
Which is good. You get to play 2 Wall of Blossoms, which draw you a card and they come in. There's good blockers, obviously, and then you play 2 Overgrown Battlement, which are I think they're probably going to come out of the deck, but they are ramp. There's ramp spells that they get. They tap for a green freeze.
Refresh my memory. What does Overgrown Battlement do?
It's 2 mana for 0/4.
But
it has Defender, and it taps for mana equal to the number of defenders you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have more,
I vaguely remember that one.
You get to draw or make a little more mana, which they're not as good as lands when you have Wilderness Reclamation, but it is just a reasonable way to.
That's still one more ramp card, especially if you're
yeah
playing some defenders already.
But you play 2 copies of Engulf the Shore, which because you're dumping islands into play among other lands, you get to bounce all the stuff they're trying to kill you with, including your walls. Right. Well, I mean, you have to have 4 islands to bounce your walls, but if you get to bounce your walls and replay them to draw a card, you're not complaining about that.
Right.
But yeah, and that's an instant too. So
that's nice.
Pretty sick plays. So yeah, that's basically. So
why is this half baked? Where are the holes?
Well, it has no sideboard.
Right.
It's been a while since I built a sideboard.
So basically, this has like a plan A. And a plan A.5.
It has a plan A.
And
But like, there's nothing that sees play in $25 vintage, as far as I'm aware, that shuffles itself back in. So like, they're not gonna be able to shuffle their deck back together when you make them
unless
draw
they're
their
playing
deck.
Blue Sun Zenith and they leave up enough mana to play Blue Sun Zenith.
Seems unlikely.
Seems pretty unlikely. You're playing Blue Sun Zenith.
No, I'm just saying it seems unlikely that they're gonna have that mana up.
This is true.
Now, if it was another one of my decks, it's possible. It's possible. Not impossible.
All right, so the reason it's half-baked is you only have a plan A. But, I mean, can you cut cards from that, have that line still be possible while leaving in room for adding plan B through R?
Here's the thing. I don't know what plan B would be.
I don't either.
Like, I mean, if it were like a regular deck, I'd just be like, oh, well, we can just jam in, like, I don't know, some A+B combo as plan B, or some giant threat randomly. But
right.
Like,
so this is just kind of like a complicated jank combo, really. I mean, it's
definitely
totally.
That. I guess theoretically you could take out the walls or like take out the Overgrown Battlements and leave the Wall of Blossom probably, and then just play like 2 what's it called?
I really like the Wall of Blossoms.
Oh, it's great.
Those feel good.
What's the Eldrazi, the 8 mana common Eldrazi with Annihilator too? Ulamog's Crusher? Yeah.
Yes, Crusher.
You play those. Like, those are probably reasonable. I don't think there's much removal that gets rid of those. I'm sure there's something, but I don't know.
Oh, there is that 2 mana lightning bolt that does 8 damage to target.
What?
No, there isn't one.
Roast does 5. Okay.
I made it up. There isn't
made
one.
It up.
Yep.
That's okay. It's okay.
This is why Wizards keeps responding to my emails for employment with nothing. They don't respond.
Please stop emailing us.
Please stop emailing us. So then
Get a life.
So then I wrote 2 letters a week. Name that movie.
I was working on my segues.
Oh, were you?
I told you to get a life.
Oh, hey-o. All right, so let's talk about life.
I'm sorry, viewers.
This is not going to be... Okay, just preamble. This is not going to be a philosophical debate about what it all means, why are we here, blah, blah. We're here to talk about magic. However, I do just kind of want to start off with, like, what does it all mean? I'm just kidding.
Well, you see, what life total means is...
All right. No. So I want to discuss, and I'm going to let you take this first, as always, but I actually have some metagame discussion to add as well. So firstly, 20 life.
Metagame discussion?
Yeah. So 20 life.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Too much? Is that balanced?
Well,
is it fair? Do we like it?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, it was an arbitrary number. But, like, because that was...
You really think 20 was arbitrary? I really don't think it was. I think 20 was actually play-tested quite a lot.
Well, let me say it this way. The number theoretically could have been relatively arbitrary.
Right.
Because that was the number chosen at the beginning. That the game was then built around.
Customized around 20. So, like, yes, I understand that. But I'm saying I don't think that the number was arbitrary in and of itself.
I guess my point is...
Yeah. But I do understand what you're saying.
My idea is, like, it theoretically could have been anything else.
Could have been 100, and then Lightning Bolt would instead do
30.
Or 10.
Whatever. No, 15, I guess.
Whatever. A percentage instead.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
The idea is, like, I mean, numbers arbitrary in a sense, but, like, I mean...
And then just build your cards to scale.
Yeah, but I think, like, 10 probably would have been too low, because, like, then creatures would have to be much less powerful than they are, because you're not going to make a...
Well, then your scaling would be different. You'd have less percentages, and if you wanted to do greater percentages, or the difference between, more scaling there, then you would be dealing with, halves and thirds instead of whole numbers. So,
yeah, but I mean, like, I think the game could have been built off of 30 life and it feel almost identical.
Right.
It just the cards being
they would
different.
Yeah, the cards would have to scale a little bit.
Yeah.
Or the games would go longer. Or would they?
Probably not.
Probably not. I think people would still figure out how to win on turn 2 with some jank combo.
I mean, most of the time, I don't care what your life total is at, because I'm either killing with control or combo, and most of them don't care most of the time.
Right. And that is mostly true for how I play, what I play. I kind of play with the attitude of I have 19 free life.
Or you have 20 life points and only the last one matters.
Right. I mean 6 one way, half a dozen the other. However, I feel that the power of some of the new cards coming out, for example, Galta.
Primal Hunger.
We were just talking about this. Galta turn 3, turn 4, whatever.
I think it comes out
as a 12-12.
I think it comes out in it came out in turns 4 in standard one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play standard.
And right, but it's less about standard, but it's more about what we're adding to the pool of cards that we have available, right? And I feel like they almost did this back in Eldritch or not. When did we have Zendikar, with all the Eldrazi, right? The big...
Well, there was one...
Big Daddy Eldrazi. Right, that's what I know. That's what I'm talking about.
The Battle of Zendikar block?
Right, the big... When Eldrazi's heyday, the Zendikar block returned.
Yeah.
I guess it did kind of get... They were still pertinent in standard in Eldrazi as well.
And Eldritch Moon?
Eldritch Moon, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
Eldritch
they have, like...
Moon.
People Eldrazi and Werewolf Eldrazi,
right?
And Little Girl Eldrazi.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Grapple with the Past.
That's fun.
I love that.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's just a harmless offering.
I think I'm thinking of a different card.
No. We're not. I'm making an awful pun.
Okay.
Play on cards.
Sure.
Yeah. I hated that card.
Harmless offering.
Harmless offering. Harmless offering.
You ever seen the Harmless Pact deck?
Yeah, but I didn't have enough to build it, so I didn't. Wasn't my playstyle.
We'll build that in Highlander. See how that goes.
It's like a worst jinxed idol.
I don't know. Jinxed idol best. Oh, wait, is that the one that lets you not play creatures?
No, it's an artifact that basically deals. I think it's 2 damage to you on your upkeep.
Feels like it's much slower than Demonic Pact.
When you can pay to give it to your opponent.
Well, Demonic Pact...
It's just silly.
Demonic Pact does 4 things. You have to pick a different one each time, and the last one says you lose the game.
Right.
So you use the other 3 good effects and then donate it to them.
Right.
Give them the cat.
Right.
Like what's it called?
Harmless offering.
Yeah.
Give them the cat. The kitty. The little kitty. So anyway, moving right along. I think that the scaling of some of the newer cards, I mean, I don't think that the life total in Standard and most other games should be changed necessarily. I just feel like it's starting to get a little bit out of control. We'll see.
I feel like that has more to do with just the card power.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It has less to do with life, but once you start changing that card power, you lose the game quicker. I mean, where's the game going? Because right now it's who can win fastest, and I mean I know that's the object of the game, but
you need to play more Path to Exile. Skalta ain't a problem if you have Path to Exile
or Walk the Plank.
That's a sorcery.
You can tell that dinosaur
or
to step off that short piece of wood.
Or how about you just tell it to take a nap and you'll draw a card?
Okay.
Cryptic Command for the win.
There you go.
Best card.
All right. So that's our thoughts. Okay. So next.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. So I would like to discuss the thoughts on the usage of life as a means of gaining advantage. So what I mean by that is using shock lands, fetch lands, etc. Get probe, correct, Phyrexian mana, all that kind of stuff.
Well, really, the thing about those cards is they are built in a way as to the damage is meant to essentially counterbalance the powerful effect they provide.
Right.
Like the shock lands, they're just the original dual lands. You just got to pay a little extra for them.
Right.
Right.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're offsetting cost.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, like you said earlier, you have 20 life and only the last one matters.
Right.
That's kind of the thing is like when they print cards where the only real downside is the life loss, they're really good because their downside doesn't do anything until you die.
Right.
And like sometimes it matters. A lot of the time it doesn't.
Right.
Like in Modern, everyone's doing turn 1 fetch shock.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Unless they have their
take
fast
3
land.
damage, start off with both of the colors that you want, and playing your I don't know what.
Even Thoughtseize. Like Thoughtseize is another example of a card that it is an extremely powerful ability, being able to take any card out of their hand besides a land.
Right. Pay 2 life.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I'm not going to say that life loss never matters. It just, I don't think it's nearly as effective as maybe it was intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that could just be, could be a symptom of more combo being available in formats than maybe it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just because when combo is more prevalent, life usually doesn't matter because they're just going to kill you all at once.
Right. And that's what we're running into, is what I was just talking about this day and age. You don't win, or you don't lose the game with literally 0 life. You lose the game with negative 50 life, or 0 cards in your deck, or a card that says you lose the game.
Yeah. And I mean, even if it's not actual combo pieces, sometimes you'll find like dig spells get printed, like things like I don't know if this is a thing, but I imagine when Ancient Stirrings got printed, I'm sure that allowed some like artifact based combos that didn't previously exist become viable because you can more easily dig for those artifacts or lands or whatever you may need. So stuff like that.
Okay, so I think it's kind of a generally accepted thing, generally accepted knowledge that if you've got the appropriate hand, turn 1, fetch, shock, important combo piece or important, like, Thoughtseize, whatever.
Brainstorm?
A brainstorm, whatever.
Well,
it's
probably not brainstorm.
Probably not brainstorm.
Preordain.
Yeah, there you go.
Preordain.
Right? Something pertinent, something where you're getting value, you're getting stuff on the board. That generally accepted, you know what? that life loss is worth the material gain.
Yeah,
okay?
especially because of how fast you're getting it.
Right, exactly. Turn 1, having that stuff on the board, that's fantastic. However, let's discuss when it is appropriate to guard your life total.
Yeah, so obviously, if you're at 5 and your opponent is playing lightning bolts, maybe you don't want to go to shock yourself down to 3.
So a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, common sense.
Fair enough.
I know you guys did not expect that on this podcast, but we brought some to the table today. Let me tell you.
There you go. Or maybe not fetching when you have 1 life.
Okay.
Unless
they're swinging.
Unless your name is Ash.
If they're swinging for lethal and you don't want to give them the gratification of killing you, you fetched yourself to 0.
That's right.
Fun fact, if you're at 2, you cannot fetch shock because you have to pay life. It's not actual
right.
damage.
It doesn't cost damage. That's right.
All right. So, like I said, obviously if you are really low in life, you want to be conservative with your life total. But if you're at 5 and you're against like a super dedicated combo deck, 2 is probably not that different from 5.
Right.
You may be fine just going to 2. I mean, obviously, if they have like a Tendrils of Agony and they don't have to do any Stormfire, they can just cast it. Okay, they gotcha. But
right.
That's not going to come up as much as them trying to storm kill you and you just needing to like kill them before they can get to lethal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another time is if your opponent, let's say you're not doing a very good job of interacting with the board, okay?
Okay.
So like you don't have any removal, you don't have any blockers, you got I don't know, something stuck in your hand, but you're not able to deal with their creatures. And they're attacking with, say, 4 power worth of creatures.
Mm-hmm.
You are at 13. If they attack you, you're going to go to 8.
We got a 4-turn clock. Nothing else changed.
Yeah, sorry. If they attack you, you're going to go to 9. Then you're going to go to 5. Then you're going to go to 1. Then they're going to kill you.
Right.
But if you were to fetch down to 12, then they only have a 3-turn clock.
Right.
That makes a full turn off your clock.
Right.
Off their clock, sorry. If anyone doesn't know, the clock is basically the clock. If anyone doesn't know, the clock is basically how many turns it's going to take them to kill you if nothing changes.
Right.
And that 1 damage being the difference from 3 turns to 4 turns may be the difference between the turn it takes you to draw Wrath and the turn before it.
Right.
So you need to take into account what the number you're at, what that means based on the current board state.
Yeah, so sometimes just that 1 extra turn, that 1 extra top deck, that's all it takes. I'm telling you what, I had a really good top deck against goblins the other day.
What were you playing?
I was playing my red-green ramp.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
I drew. I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh, was it Savage Twister?
No. It was. Oh gosh,
What'd it do?
Actually, I did. Oh, I drew Savage Twister
Against Slivers.
Against Shrouded Slivers. Oh my god! And I put it on the board almost apologetically.
Is that when the dude yelled out profanity?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
One of the times the dude yelled out some profanity because he was very happily playing 5-color slivers. And you know what? I actually really enjoyed playing against him. I mean, it's a cool deck. No, is it a pertinent deck? Is it a competitive deck?
Depends on the build. It could probably be
fine. I mean, I think he could have changed some things in there because there was just some like, oh, this has sliver in it. Throw it in there. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, to be fair, he was playing a modified commander deck.
Right. And he sat down with Canlanders, and I'm pretty sure he got pretty trounced. Just those formats, they just don't match up, you know?
No, they don't.
And I think that deck would do pretty well in Commander because a lot of Commander decks are kind of all right, let me sit back and wait a minute.
Right.
Canlanders is hurry up and get something done. And usually it's hurry up and win the game,
Right. Not to backtrack too far, but the difference between 20 and 40 life, based on what the cards are meant to do,
right?
That allows.
It's huge.
Yeah. I mean, that just lets you dirtle around, do whatever the crap you want in Commander. Dirtle. I do that in Highlander and I die because of it. Anyway, what did you top deck? Oh wait, what else did?
So
against goblins.
Against goblins, it was the Hour of Devastation board wipe.
Hour of Devastation?
Yeah.
Is it
Was
called
it
Hour
was,
of
yeah,
Devastation?
there you go. See, I knew I was... Yeah, it's called Hour of Devastation.
That explains your confusion.
Right. So, and maybe. It's been a long day. Not enough alcohol in this day.
I agree.
So, basically, I was playing against goblins, and he had several on the board that were pumped up, but
like they do.
Highest life total, you guessed it, was 5.
Life total or CMC?
Or no, not life total. The
toughness.
Toughness of his goblins, highest on the board was 5.
Doesn't Hour of Devastation
Hour
do
of
20?
Devastation does no. Then we're not talking about the same
Oh,
one.
I'm thinking of
Gosh
Star of
darn it.
Extinction. No,
You're thinking of Star of Extinction.
Hour of
Hour of
Extinction does
Devastation
5 to
removes
creatures
indestructible.
and does to creatures and planeswalkers.
Correct. Creatures and planeswalkers 5 damage.
And Star of Extinction does 20 to each creature.
Right.
So if you have a Boros Reckoner, they all die.
Right.
Your
So
opponent dies.
right.
Combo. It's a combo.
It's beautiful. So
Don't do that.
it was so nice. But anyway, so I'm sitting here with a 10/10 Hydra.
Was it a
Okay.
Mistcutter Hydra? Or an
No,
Apocalypse
it
Hydra?
was Apocalypse Hydra.
Bad card.
Right.
But it's shiny.
No.
Oh. Savageborn Hydra.
Savageborn Hydra.
That's the
Thank you.
foil.
That's the good one.
Which one's for? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I had a 10/10 Hydra. So, but anyway, he's got lethal no matter what he does, right? Because I don't remember life totals. But I was down there pretty low. He had easily lethal, and I can only block one of his creatures. Okay.
You think a Hydra would be able to block one for each head it has? They're just goblins.
I mean,
They're just goblins.
It would make sense, but I mean, it's magic.
I guess it gets
so.
confused. It gets confused with how
Right.
many Hydras or how many goblins there
So-
are. Little green men.
So it was top deck. Hour of Devastation.
Who said
Wipe-
you weren't playing Miracles that
Wipe
night?
his board. Attack for 10.
So it didn't kill your Hydra.
What's really funny?
Did that kill him that turn?
Because I had fling in my hand.
Oh!
That's when I actually stood up. So of course it was Tucker. So I stood up, went around the table to his side, and started punching him in the side. And went, "Yeah, boy, you like that fling, don't you?" And all of the people that were streaming behind us kind of gave us that, "How rude!" look,
Yeah.
How dare you?
For those who don't know, Tucker is another acquaintance of ours.
Right? He's
Brother.
brother nephew. Anyway, wow, that was a tangent, wasn't it?
We're good. Where
doing
were
pretty
we?
good on time here.
Look at the agenda.
All right. So okay. Combos, life total combos. I want to hear some examples. So Nicholas plays a really interesting one that I'd like to hear.
Well,
about.
that line on the agenda here is not infinite life combos. It is why you don't care about life against combo.
Oh,
But we already talked about that already. So let's talk about infinite life combos.
I want to talk about infinite life. Okay, so I was the one.
How to make your life total obsolete.
I was the one that wrote the.
Okay, but would you read that line exactly as it's written, please?
Thirdly, combos ... Ash. I mean,
So who's supposed to talk about it?
I know what that means, but I know I'm the one that wrote it.
Also,
so
my
that's
name's
what
in
I
all
was thinking.
caps on there. Why?
Infinite life combos. Go.
Infinite life. Okay, so a good one. Ow! Jeez!
I told you I was gonna hit him. We've
Oh.
been waiting like 29 minutes for that.
You said you were gonna hit me? I don't remember that.
At the beginning of the podcast.
Ow! Can we pull?
Got him.
Hey, Phil, the editor. Will you pull up the card Savage?
Steven!
Pull up the card Savage
Savage.
Punch. Savage Punch. Pull up the card. You're a monster, and you are ferocious.
Is there a card called Backhand? Because that's what I did.
There's Deflecting Palm.
Deflecting. Right.
It's not exactly the same thing.
It's a good card too.
I
like Deflecting.
I once was at an open playing Esper Control, and my opponent I thought seized them, and they had 3 Deflecting Palms.
Mm-hmm.
They were unburned. They were so dead. And I'm like, I'm gonna play this Tasker, and then it's like Reflecting Palm. And I was just like counter draw and hit them, and they're like, I attacked, and they were Deflecting Palm, and I was like Spell Snare. And they're like Deflecting Palm, and I was just like something else. But they tilted off the face of the earth and conceded after the first game. Like conceded the match.
Right.
They just were so
they just
done.
stood up
and left, and I was just like,
okay, bye.
I mean, they signed the slip and left, and I was like, well, I tilted him. So then the guy next to them was playing Burn. He just looked over and was like, I mean, I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be that mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, life game
That's
combos.
fine. Infinite life game combo.
Infinite life game combos. So probably the most common one.
Okay, here's the thing. They're not infinite. You have to name a number.
But yes, technically you do have
to. Next turn.
You have to loop a number. But I mean, arbitrary life total combos.
Fair enough.
Probably the one that you see the most that like comes with the most in actual commonly played high under decks is Kitchen Finks plus Sack Outlet plus either Vizier of Remedies or Malira Sylvic Outcast.
Okay.
Anyone who's been playing Modern for a really long time will maybe remember that used to be a thing in Modern. Kitchen. It was in Pod, Absent Pod.
Okay.
Yeah, Infinite Life combo in there. And thing is, it still lost to Splinter Twin, so which was the other big deck at the time.
Right.
Before they both got banned.
Yay.
So that's one big one. One that I like to do comes up a lot in things I like to do. I like to play is lands. Surprise, surprise. So you get Fast Bond in play.
Okay.
You get Crucible of Worlds or the Hydra.
A braid.
Crucible of Hydra.
Sorry, it's reflex.
Shut up.
I just abraded as Crucible.
The Crucible on legs, whatever it's called. Ramanap Excavator.
Ramanap, yeah.
Yeah, so you get Fast Bond, Crucible, or Ramanap Excavator, and then
he doesn't really have legs.
On leg. Crucible on leg.
It's not a leg.
Crucible on Slither. Slither body.
Slither like a snake.
Crucible on a very flimsy stick. Is that good enough for you? Crucible with teeth? What do you want?
I'll allow it.
Okay, he'll allow it. So you get Crucible with teeth.
It'll resolve.
You get Fast One, you get Zuran Orb. So Zuran Orb is a 0-mana artifact that lets you sack a land to gain 2.
Cheerio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we do is you just play a land out of your graveyard, sack it for 2 life, play it again, you lose 1 life to Fast Bond, you sack it, gain 2. So you go infinite. Arbitrary. Sorry.
That sounds familiar.
I've lost after doing that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how. Oh, I was playing against Pod. Never mind. He Splinter Twin me.
Right.
Oh, another way to gain infinite life. Splinter Twin with a Soul Warden in play. Speaking of Soul Warden.
You know how else you lose?
How?
With infinite life?
How?
If you let your red-green ramp opponent continually play Red Sun Zenith?
I think you would deck... No? That sells itself back in?
Yeah.
I think
Nicholas conceded the point. He signed my card.
Wait. Is he playing Pod?
No, he was... I don't remember what he was playing.
Was he playing Bant ETB?
I think so.
Which reminds me, another Infinite Life combo. You play a Essence Warden. That's the green Soul Warden.
Okay.
So, in the Blink ETB deck, which is a very cool deck, you get Felid Our Guardian and Restoration Angel will blink each other back and forth infinitely.
Yes.
And you have Essence Warden. You gain life whenever one of them enters play.
Right.
And then you end the loop by then targeting the Essence Warden or something else with one of them coming into play. So, pretty cool stuff.
That is pretty neat.
It also,
which is what he did, and so we kind of just stopped playing.
Yeah.
I said I was like, I don't know, you got infinite life, but, and we kind of sat there while we were shuffling our decks. We both scooped.
He plays counter spells. He plays Mystic Snake. He didn't at the time.
He didn't at the time because I was like, do you have any counterspell in that deck? And he was I don't remember what he said, but I think it was just a hard stop no, but what he did have for counter he had already played. So
he may have had like a Spell Piercer or Mana Leak,
something like that, and
which probably was.
And I had basically, which at that point in the game was not pertinent.
Obsolete.
It was whatever. That's 6-1 way.
Anyway, this deck also can, if it gets Deadeye Navigator and Peregrine Drake, you can make infinite mana and infinite ETBs to then infinitely blink the rest of your cards. So if you have anything that ETBs to draw a card, you draw your deck, and then you can also make infinite life with the Essence Ward. You can, if the infinite mana and infinite blinks, you can usually win the game.
Right.
Seeing as you have, You can also infinitely blink your Cloud Blazer arbitrarily to draw your deck and gain about 100 life, I guess.
Yeah.
Not quite that much, like 80 probably.
Not quite arbitrary, but still, it's quite a few.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
You'd put in a Laboratory Maniac, and then you just win the game. Isn't that what he's called?
Yes.
Lab Man, yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you can draw your deck and make infinite mana, you have better ways to win the game.
Nah.
I think the deck plays Walking Ballista.
Just win the game.
I think that.
Well, okay.
Well, no, it doesn't play Walking Ballista, but I think it does play.
Win the game with Lab Man. Just boom, one card. There, I won the game.
I feel like you just draw.
Look at that.
I feel like you just draw all but one card, and then just like dump all your creatures, gain like 1 million infinite lives. Oh,
I guess that really wouldn't win you. That would only win you the turn, or that would win you the game next turn because it says if you are to draw a card.
But you
could play it and then play some sort of
but
card
then,
draw.
if you play it and then continually blink your draw effects, then you draw, and then
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
some sort of draw effect after that.
Yeah. So if you draw your deck and have infinite mana, you can do that.
See, I told you this was gonna get meta. You kept giving me the eyebrow over the meta, whatever.
The way you said it at first didn't make any sense.
To the meta game of life. Come on. It had a good ring to it.
Someone call this an awkward
silence. We're moving on. It says lastly. We're moving on. Life gain, life link. Is it good?
Only.
I got to bring Zit Good back.
You did. Is it ever going away?
No.
Okay.
No.
Add it to the t-shirt list. Okay. Here's
T-shirts. Richard Pitch.
Here's the thing about.
Is it good?
Are you done?
No.
Here's the thing about.
I got one more.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Here. You're gonna actually let me talk?
Yep.
Here's the thing about life gain and life link. They're good as gravy on top of whatever else you're doing.
Gotcha.
You don't want that to be the primary reason you're playing a card.
Not quite chocolate chips.
Well, no, chocolate chips are only if there's 2 cards in the entire.
So sprinkles? Can we go with sprinkles? Can we agree on sprinkles? There's a crap ton of sprinkles.
No, this is gravy on the card, not the deck as a whole. It's a whole separate analogy, don't you know?
Okay. I don't want to mix our metaphors here, okay? Two in the hand.
Let me tell you.
2 in the hand.
Let me tell you that
worth a broken sinking ship or whatever.
That first metaphor with the chocolate, that mixes all in there. It all mixes together. So
people in glass houses mix metaphors.
Phil, edit this out.
Stephen!
I thought it was Phil.
No, it said Steve.
Phil, edit this out.
All right, well, we have to tell him. Stephen!
Edit this out.
The tickets!
Or don't leave it in. That depends on how entertained you get by it. So,
situations. I want
all right.
For this, I want situations.
I got some straight up examples. All right. How do you feel about a card that lets you pull an instant or sorcery out of your opponent's hand?
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about a card that kills a creature?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
How do you feel about a card that gains some life?
Can we go back a step?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of creature kill.
What if?
How much does it cost?
2 mana.
Oh, I like it.
What if it could kill a small creature, or it could pull a card out of your opponent's hand?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or
what if it could do both?
Oh, I really like.
What if it could also make your opponent lose some life and you gain some life?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's collective brutality.
Is this a power 9?
It's collective brutality. No, it's from Eldritch Moon.
I know.
That was way after that. Power 9 was established.
That was a joke.
Your jokes aren't funny.
They really aren't.
So the thing about
it's a long day.
The reason
collective brutality.
Yeah, the reason collective brutality is
it good?
So here's the thing. Stop. Obviously it is good to be able to look at your opponent's hand and pull something out of it. Obviously it's good to kill a small creature. Being able to use the cards in your hand that are not good, or you like they're not good for you at the time, or you want them in your graveyard to get additional effects off of this card is really good.
Right.
So if you have let's say you draw collective brutality late game and you have a land in your hand, but you have way more lands than you ever need. You might as well just discard the land to it to gain the life if there's no creature to kill. You can look at their hand and just gain some life and drain them a little bit, just because you don't need the land in play, and it might come up.
Right.
that is an example of when.
So it says you may destroy a creature.
Well, it says choose any number of these. You have to discard a card for each additional mode you choose beyond the first. And
gotcha.
One is look at target opponent's hand. You get to pull an instant sorcery out of it. One is -2 to a creature.
Right.
One is drain 1 or drain 2 life.
Got it.
They lose 2, you gain 2. So yeah, that's collective brutality.
I don't think I actually have any collective brutalities. That's why I'm not as familiar.
You don't
with
play
it.
black,
I really don't.
but it's an excellent card.
I don't yet. Oh, foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Oh.
Foreshading.
Who makes bad jokes?
Us.
Both of us.
Both of us.
Okay.
Both of us. Shut up, Steven!
Steven!
Get back in the dungeon! So, lifelink is another thing where you don't want it to be the main reason you are selecting the creature to put in your deck, but it is good if it's not a bad thing to have. So if the creature you're playing is good without the lifelink, and then the lifelink on top of it, or is there on top of it, that's just, like I said, gravy on top of the already good card you're playing.
Right.
A really good example of this is Kalitas, Trader of Gep. That card is excellent, but it would be fine without the lifelink.
Right.
It's much better with it, but it would be fine without it, and probably be still playable without it. But with the lifelink added on top of it, like that's not the reason you're playing it, but it being there is very good. Now, it is very, very good against red decks because their removal has trouble removing it. Their removal, they're not very good. Most red removal does 3 or less. So besides like exactly Flame Slash and like War Leader's Helix, red removal isn't usually taking care of this thing.
Right.
So it being A, really good at surviving against red removal, and B, being really good against red's typical strategy of killing you as fast as possible because it's a great blocker and gets to gain
and
life.
You get lifelink, and whenever you're against red aggro stuff like that,
you get to eat their stuff and make zombies.
Yeah, I mean,
and
gaining 5 life, I find against those decks, it just kind of puts them back.
Like that's 2 cards.
Right, that's 2 cards. It just puts them back so many turns.
And here's another thing about Kalitas, why it's particularly good against aggressive strategies, even not necessarily red ones, is it's very versatile in that if you need to gain more life, it has an option to put counters on it to capitalize on the life gain aspect of it if you need to. So you can sacrifice zombies to make it bigger and gain more life for the lifelink.
Right.
So that is giving you the option to capitalize on that if you want to, but not needing to makes that card very good. So, like I said, it would probably still be playable without the lifelink. I would probably still play without the lifelink, but the lifelink puts it kind of above where it could be. Does that make sense? So, so those are 2 spots where life gain is good, just as like I said, as gravy, as in addition to what else it's good for. But there's another place where life gain really shines, and that is if you're playing a deck where the effect of gaining life is relevant to your game.
Right, it's some sort of trigger.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Exactly. So, and there's the Highlander deck they talked about on North 100 a couple weeks ago, where it was Mardu life gain, and it wasn't about gaining a bunch of life and just having a bunch of life. It was about your deck. It was really like a Mardu mid-range deck where a lot of the cards either incidentally gain you life, like incidentally had lifelink, or incidentally, like when a creature dies you gain a life, whatever it was, or had the ability to do something when you gain life. Right. So it would
when you gain 1 life, target opponent loses 1 life.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Or
when you gain a life, whatever.
Like Johnny's Primate and Lone Rider are 2 excellent examples.
Yes.
Because these are both 2 drops where when you gain life, they get bigger.
Right. So, which are awesome.
Yeah, and so those are just ways to take advantage of the gaining life. Because like the thing about pure life gain is it doesn't affect the board state. Right. It's not going to win you the game. Right. It may stop you from losing the game for a little bit, but it's not going to win you the game. Right. Unless you have something
to turn that into value.
Yeah, and there are other ways to do that, of course, like we talked about the shotguns, we talked about Phyrexian mana, but there are other effects that let you pay life to increase how useful they are, like a Danto Vanguard, being able to pay 4 life to make it
give it
indestructible till end of turn. Being able to do that every turn without,
which is nice since it's a 3/1 or something like that.
It's a 1/2, and when it attacks, it's a 3/2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It gets It gets boosted when it's attacking.
Yeah, when it's attacking, it's bigger. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's better when it's attacking.
Right.
So those are times where gaining life, you don't care about having life, you care about the effect of gaining life.
Right.
And then paying it. I'm trying to think of other good examples of where you pay life for value, but
there is, I want to say there's an angel out there. I believe it's a white angel.
Oh.
Where you can pay, or no, it's a vampire.
Is it Undead Angel? Something like that. It
I
was
don't
printed
remember.
in Masters 25.
I think there's an angel from Ixalan where, or no, I keep saying angel. There's a vampire from Ixalan where you can pay, I want to say it's 4 life and it gets vigilance, or 4 life and it gets lifelink. I don't remember.
Okay, so we pause it for a second to try and find these angels. While Josh continues searching for the angels, I shall explain a different vampire. I'm talking about an angel. The card Fallen Angel. That was
Oh yeah, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah. You can pay life to make it better, and that's an effect you'll want to. That's an effect you'll want to repeat, kind of turn after turn. So that is, if you're consistently gaining life some way, for example, with lifelink creatures, being able to consistently make this creature bigger is just a good effect to have.
Makes sense.
Did you find the angel?
No, it's not. It's a vampire.
Find the vampire.
No, I didn't.
That's a suture priest.
I know it's a suture priest. I really like this card. It's just fun.
This is how you kill your opponent with infinite life,
right? It's just fun. Like, I want to figure out how to make an awesome. It just needs to be.
Can't that just go in Bant ETB?
It really just can go in Bant ETB, but I don't want to play Bant.
Have you ever played a Bant deck?
No.
Bant is fun.
I know. It looks fun, but I don't want to play it.
Bant Blade.
It's like the same reason I don't want to play Phoenix. Like, Phoenix looks fun. Phoenix looks like Phoenix Drake. Yeah, the modern standard. Yeah. Like, yeah, they look fun to play, but I don't want to just play them because I don't know.
You don't want to play Magic because it's fun?
Because
you heard it here first.
Get
folks.
out of my
Josh
head, Ash.
Look, but if you ever cast a Kitchen Finks into a Numa's job as GTA and equip it, then it doesn't even matter if they kill it.
I have been on the receiving end of that. And
didn't you wish you were on the giving end of that?
I really didn't like it.
Didn't you wish you were on the doling out end of that?
I kind of wanted to punch you in the face.
That's what you do with GTA. Speaking of cards that incidentally gain life, Umazawa's GTA.
Yeah.
If you have counters on it and they're about to blow up the GTA, yeah, you can pump your creature, or you can just spend it to gain some extra life. Then it's not a complete waste. Umazawa's GTA was a mistake.
I hate that card. I'm gonna start collecting them and just burning them.
Please don't. Okay, well, when the price of GTA spikes, you all know what happened. Josh bottom up and
flushed him down the toilet.
Can we at least like, I don't know, find some like flavorful way to do it? Can we shatter them?
Yeah, I might. Ooh, that would be good.
Freeze them and shatter them.
I'll abrade them.
How exactly are you gonna go about that?
I don't know. Because I mean, it's talking about being abrasive, right? So I get it's like a bunch of sandpaper or something, or like an angle grinder. That would be fun.
You're gonna take an angle grinder, pieces of cardboard. What kind of messed up monster?
Isn't that awesome?
No,
that would be so much fun.
It'd be an expensive
fun. It really would be.
It would make a mess. Dude, you could.
It's like taking $100 bills and just lighting them on fire.
Well, they're $20.
Well, I know.
You could fill some party poppers with GTA confetti.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I regret being part of this conversation.
It's hurting you a little bit, isn't it?
A little bit.
You actually like the card, though.
Have you ever played with it?
I haven't. I don't have one.
You should play with it.
I really should, just so that I can.
All right. Let's move on to
join the unwashed masses.
Unwashed, dude. I keep my GTA very clean.
I can smell you from here.
Someone with it.
All right, so moving right along. Is that enough? That's all you want to say on life gain?
I think so. We're about to talk briefly more about life gain, but in a more combo sense.
Yeah. So
again,
right. So, I've been lax on my bulk boxes, so the kitchen table junior edition is we're putting that on hold for the Mo.
FOMO.
I
For
have
the Mo.
been
For
I
the
have
Mo. Okay, I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Is it good?
The viewers are waiting.
Right. I have been putting together a Highlander deck because recently I've just, going through all of my cards. I have pulled out two, Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond. So basically what they do, I have Exquisite Blood sitting right here in front of me.
They're on the screen, right?
Whatever. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Sanguine Bond reads basically the exact opposite. So if you get both of these cards out, this is not an original idea. This is just my idea. Looking through my binders, looking through my cards, I kind of went, huh. So if you have both of them on the field at one time, if you either A, gain a life, or B, lose life.
No, you gain or they lose.
Or that's what I'm saying. If I gain or they lose, that's what I meant. You set up this never-ending cycle of whoops-a-daisies, win the game.
You just like you have an IV,
right?
Coming from their arms.
them. I love it.
They are your blood bag,
right? So
Until
and
they run
I
dry.
kind of set those two cards in front of me on the table, because I haven't really been deck building here recently.
Man, that sucks.
Right? Which is something you're always doing, and you've kind of gotten me into a little bit as well with this Canadian Highlander tournament we've got going every Tuesdays. So
Yes.
I started, kind of sitting there.
Tuesdays at 6:00, Mason GameStop, Ohio. Mason,
Plugs.
Ohio.
So I kind of, started pulling cards and set them to the side, kind of thinking like, okay, what could help these? What is my, if that's my A, although really that would be kind of like C or D, because that's two enchantments in the singleton.
I think you play a sort of mid-rangey or almost prison-y deck,
right? Yeah,
where you're playing tutors.
See, and that's what I was kind of getting at. Okay, of course. So you play as many of the tutors as you can. Obviously, you want to do that in 100-card singleton anyway,
Right.
when you're going for combo pieces. But I was also sitting here looking at, so you need some sort of mechanic to gain life, right? So if you get Sanguine Bond out, you really, every time you hit with lifelink, not only are they taking that damage, you're gaining the life and they're losing. So, it's a three-way.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, Corin.
Night, buddy.
See if... Jerk. We're not going to edit that one out. That's just too many.
That was too adorable.
This is cute. I just want to kill it. So anyway, it's a 3-for-1 swing, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm thinking of it, right? So that's why I wanted life. Actually, no, that's a 4-way swing.
No, they go
down from damage. You go up from damage. You take the Sanguine Bond. Yeah, no, it is a 3-way. Yeah, right. Whenever you gain, they lose. So you gain that life link.
Here's the thing: that this way they still take damage even if they block your creatures.
Right. It's really cool. It's a really cool dynamic when you add in that life link, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that would be kind of an interesting mechanic to kind of explore, and then I started throwing in. I was really looking at a lot of the legendary creatures like the advisors and things like that, whereas they don't
to tap them to persistent petitioners.
You got exactly.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
that kind of
Oh.
not
Oh.
literally, but
I thought you were serious.
that
for a
kind
second.
of thing, right? So, just having there are a lot of Orzhov legendaries out there that are very interactive with board states, and I find that in Canadian Highlander, especially at the shop where we've been playing, you either want to be non-reactive at all or extremely interactive, right?
So the deck I played last week and the deck I'm playing next week which was blue-white control and then eggs.
Correct. So blue-white control is seeing a lot of...
Hey, eggs can play in Snaring Bridge.
There you go. I mean, sure.
Anyway, make your point.
So anyway, I feel like the more interactive you are in this format, or I mean, obviously, so yeah, if you just want to race to your combo, that does really well. Obviously, I mean, in the past few weeks, maybe not personally, but in the last several weeks, when we have played, I think a combo deck won like what 2 out of 3 of the evenings.
Well, let's see. Nicholas won with Pod,
right,
which is a mid-range combo deck.
Mm-hmm.
Avery won with medium. Well, we drew it one with medium red and blue-white control, so that wasn't really combo. But before that, it was Nicholas won with Bant, which it was a very he was playing all the combos,
right?
So
exactly. So and those
mid-range combo decks, which are medium interactive, I guess.
Right. And so this is just one more of those. And I really was kind of thinking about mid-range with this, and that's really just kind of what it is.
Would you also play like Idyllic Tutor with some value enchantments?
Oh, of course, yeah. And I really like the idea of the enchantments here because, I just really find that altering the board state. Number one, I haven't noticed a whole lot of enchantment hate. I know there's the natural Rex Age and Night of Autumn, but
Thrashing Brontodon. Those like 3. I mean, besides like people are playing Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay, obviously.
For example, the other day I played a Rex Age with no target just because I wanted an extra blocker against
Gobos.
Yeah, no, it was against that
Silvers.
No, shut up and I'll tell you.
Aristocrats.
The Aristocrats. Thank you.
Okay, to be fair, that deck plays some pretty hot enchantments though, and artifacts.
There were just none on the board. I just needed an extra blocker.
To not die?
To not die.
Okay,
I literally just needed to not die. I just wanted to soak up some damage. It wasn't about not dying. I needed to make it to turn 6, and it was, turn 3.
I see.
So, with, the potential 7 damage coming in next turn. So.
Fair enough.
So, anyway, what I'm asking for are suggestions. What are natural fits into, I'm calling it Sanguine Blood, Exquisite Bond.
To make everyone very confused. Alright, so you guys send some suggestions in the comments to Josh's Exquisite Blood Sanguine Bond deck.
No,
shut up.
Exquisite Bond.
Alright, so while you're at it, you guys let me know what I need to be playing next week.
That bond is exquisite.
I gotta ask
Steven!
I gotta ask the viewers what I gotta play next week.
Okay.
So, and I'll do a poll. You can be part of this.
Can I be part of the poll too?
You can. So the options I'm debating on for next week is, Teamer Lands. Bant Blade.
Okay. Ooh, Bant Blade.
Yes. Teamer Lands.
Do you have that done?
I mean, I would need to borrow your Stoneforge.
Okay.
But pretty much besides that.
Does that mean you'll have to take my Sword of Fire and Ice back?
My Sword of Fire and Ice?
That's what I meant.
Yeah, it does. Dang. So, Teamer Lands, Bant Blade, Sultai Lands, which I think is not quite as spicy as Teamer Lands, but might be. It's a little more mid-range lands, less combo-y oriented, but you get to play Gitrog Monster. That's a fun one.
That's always fun.
Yeah. And Muldrotha if you want to. And then the last one is 5-color.
Nope. Done.
Let me finish.
Done.
Let me finish. It's 5-color. It's 5-color, quote unquote, fair cards. End quote. Quote end quote. How do you say it? Is it quote end quote?
Quote
unquote.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote fair cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also storm them out on accident. So it's 5-color, quote unquote fair cards that also Paradox storms them out on accident. I did that week 1 and I went undefeated. Silence intended. Okay, would you guys? Are you guys ready?
I'm gonna bring you a white weenie deck, and I'm just gonna let you play white weenie.
Oh! Wait, fifth deck. Red, white, taxes.
Ew. I don't want to play against that.
Blood Moon.
Yeah.
What deck do you play that doesn't beat Blood Moon? You have so many basics in Jeskai.
No, I don't.
Oh, I guess that's true.
I really don't. I mean, I only have maybe like 10.
Is red your smallest splash?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so, but if you play Ramp or Goblins, how do you feel about Blood Moon?
I mean, I don't care.
Exactly.
I mean, I play a stomping ground.
How do you feel about
in
against Jeskai? How do you feel about Spirit of the Labyrinth? That's the one that says you can only draw one card a turn.
Oh,
you probably don't like it.
I really don't like it that much.
But it's not as good as against you as against
I mean,
eggs.
it's not a slam dunk. It's really not a slam dunk.
There are no real slam dunks against Control. I mean, like, there's some, like, a bunch of them are good. Like, Thalia is fine. And
especially against the Miracles, because, I mean, I'd have to get pretty lucky to get around it if I didn't have any just basic removal to get rid of it. Not
Thalia?
removal. No. The Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Yeah.
If I didn't have just some sort of direct counter, I would have to work pretty hard to get pretty lucky to get around it. But it would, like I said, it wouldn't be a slam dunk. I have a lot of other, unless of course you take my Stoneforge and Sword of Fire and Ice.
The thing about the red white taxes deck against Control is there's no slam dunk, but pretty much everything
it does it hurts.
Is good a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
it just kind of, it's a death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, the ones that stop you from shuffling or from searching your deck are good.
Yeah.
The ones that stop you from
prison decks are just rude.
Well, this isn't a prison deck. This is a disruptive
deck. Red-white prison deck? Isn't that what you
it's red-white taxes.
Taxes. I'm sorry.
It's disruptive
That's
aggro.
what you said.
Okay, we digress. It's time for the puzzler. So I have two puzzlers available.
I'm gonna vote lands because
wait, Teamer lands or Sultai lands?
Teamer.
Okay, Turbo lands.
Because I've actually beaten that one once.
That deck is really fun. You get to play seismic. You get to play seismic swans combo.
Yeah.
Just sick. Okay, so question.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go with the puzzler we talked about earlier, or Nicholas's Podline puzzler? I have not proofread the Podline puzzler, but I can just read it verbatim.
Jeez.
You want to roll the die for it?
No, all right, this is on you, Nicholas.
Okay, we're doing Nicholas's?
Yeah.
Nicholas, you're not allowed to answer. If you do, we're banning you. Can you ban someone from chat?
Heck yeah, we can.
Or from comment section?
I mean, I don't know how, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, like I said, I'm going to read this verbatim. Okay, you are playing what?
I was just thinking, like, if we ban Nicholas from the comment section, as of right now,
we're 50% of our viewers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're playing 4-color Kiki Pod, no black.
Richard Pitt.
We are at 15, or you, the commenter, or the viewer, you are at 15 and need to win this turn. You have a Pestermite, a land, and a Glenalindra in hand. I'm just going to say it's a basic forest because he does not specify. In play, you have an island, a forest, a stomping ground, a temple garden, and a breeding pool. You have Birthing Pod and Breaching Hippocamp in play. And you have a Karmic Guide, a Kiki Jiki, and some other stuff just to throw them off in your bin. How do you... What? I guess they're already in the bin? It's Karmic Guide, Kiki Jiki, and other stuff in the bin. Huh. Does this make sense to you?
I mean, that's what happens when you don't proofread a text message before you read it off on the podcast. Yeah, you have a Karmic Guide.
So they're already in Karmic Guide and Kiki Jiki and some other stuff are already in the graveyard. Mm-hmm. That was worded weird. How do you win?
See the bin and then the win.
Yeah, so I'm going to summarize it for those who didn't understand. Because I didn't understand.
For me.
You're at 15. You have a Pestermite, a forest, and a Glenalindra Archmage in hand. In play, you have an island, a forest, a stomping ground, a temple garden, and a breeding pool. In play, you also have Birthing Pod and Breaching Hippocamp. In the graveyard, you have Karmic Guide and Kiki Jiki. How do you win?
Okay. That sounded better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas.
All right, well, we will see y'all next week, assuming we don't lie about it like we did last week.
Last week.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's fine. Life got ahead of us.
All right. Well, that wraps it up here for us at the Gathering Hour. I'm Josh.
I'm Ash.
And we really appreciate y'all joining us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share, all the things.
All
Get
the cool
word.
YouTubers are telling them to hit the notification bell.
Oh, well, guess what?
We're not cool yet.
Don't do it. I mean, if you can't.
We're aloof like that.
Yeah.
But if you can hit the notification bell,
that would be cool. But you totally don't have to.
And remember,
Steven, hit the bell.
Make sure and talk to all your friends about your favorite nerds talking about cardboard, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a great week, guys. Bye.